Thank you, Julia, and thank you for being here this afternoon. As many of you know, Oxfam is an organization committed to ending poverty and injustice globally, with a focus on improving the lives and promoting the rights of women and girls. And I want to start by telling you one story of a woman whom I met in Canbeta in Ethiopia, who had been found herself abandoned by her husband, thrown out of her home after 20 years of marriage, and coming to one of our partner organizations there for support in that circumstance. This is a woman who had not only done all of the farming and most of the productive work, she'd actually built the home from which she was expelled after 20 years when her husband took on a new wife. And she was involved in this group trying to sort of figure out what she's doing with her life, how to move forward. They were encouraging her to take redress, to sort of take action, to claim her right to the home that she had built and had stewarded through those decades. But she made an absolutely startling statement in the course of that conversation. Because she said, well, actually, no, for her, the most incredible part of this experience of working with this partner organization was that she learned for the first time in her life that she was a human being. And for her, this was a transformative revelation. That had not been her experience as a woman in a poor rural community in Ethiopia. Her life's experience had been, there had been her husband, and there had been her sons, and there had been the animals, and there had been the daughters, and there was she at the bottom of that heap. Even though it was on her shoulders that the health, the wealth, the productivity, and the viability of that family had been grounded for those many years. And so while they were encouraging her to take action of different sorts, her sense of affirmation that really for the first time in her life, she had conceived herself as a human being was transformative. But then there was another step through this process, and that's where development starts. Because after she thought a bit about the fact, I'm a human being, she said, the church leaders, did they know all along I was a human being? And they never told me that? The community leaders, the community elder, does he know that I'm a human being and he let him treat me that way? My husband, does he know that I'm a human being and he left me in this situation? It's those sorts of moments where people start to connect not only their individual circumstance, but the responsibility and often the complicity of the community in the poverty, in the poverty, in the inequality, in the injustice they're confronting every single day. That's what is at the core of the development process. Because the development process at its core is about power. And how those with power are using their power or abusing their power. And how those with little power can build that power, can share that power, can transform that power into the benefit of the broader community. That doesn't have immediate results. But it is truly transformative. And it is the grounding, the foundation upon which all of our work rests. And so when we look at the development process, there are a lot of different actors in there, and there are a lot of different processes. You know, literally just yesterday I got an email from staff in the Congo who told me that in the last 6 weeks, in the Bulenga camp, a camp in a conflict-ridden area of the Congo, where 45,000 people spontaneously arrived 6 weeks ago, they have built a water system with piped water and taps to meet the needs of those 45,000 people in the middle of nowhere in a 6-week time frame in order to ensure that their most basic health, water, sanitation needs are being met. So yes, there are really concrete, immediate elements of the development process where aid is critical. But it isn't all about wells, and it isn't all about clinics, and it isn't all about things that are as tangible as a goat. It is about a process of building capacity, of building confidence. It's about affecting attitudes and behaviors and cultures and norms, as well as affecting laws and programs and priorities of governments, and the capacity of individuals and communities to meet their most basic human needs. And it's when those things come together that we actually have sustainable, transformative change. And that's what our collective commitment has to be. And in that, aid is an absolutely essential ingredient. It's not the only ingredient. It isn't even the most important ingredient, but it is absolutely essential. And Canada can and must do much more in providing long-term, coherent support to agents of change all around the world, our partners, our allies on the ground, who are changing the world, and who we have an obligation to work in partnership and solidarity to support. So I appreciate your support, I appreciate your commitment, and I encourage you to carry this message forward and get ever more numbers of Canadians putting pressure on this government to do the right thing. Aid does make a difference. We can and must do more. Thank you.